Hello, friends. This is our convention recap from Las Vegas 2024. We had 32 people from Guts and Grace attend this convention. And I will tell you, we just trusted that the people that were able to come were supposed to be there, right? And the people that could come, we see you. I'm going to list all of them. We missed you. We are not the same without you, but that is why we're doing this call, because I know every single person that attended this year, and I'm talking sidelines, diamonds even, but right now it's about our teams, Team Fire and Guts and Grace. There was not one single person that did not find that the cells in their body were like infused with belief, hope for the future, and literally the desire to take the action to march forward. I mean, am I right or am I right? We had like breakdowns, we had mindset explosions. And I will tell you this, I'm a girl, I love a good mountaintop experience at a good retreat. You know what I mean? Like when God speaks to you and you're like, oh, Lord, you're healing me, or what I'm saying, those aha moments. But I always get concerned because I'm like, I don't want to go home to the valley, to real life, and forget what I learned there. Like, no, I want to make sure that I cling to that and then go. Well, I have to say, even coming home, I've been home for 2 days, and you guys, as you share, can tell us how you are feeling. It's not all about the feels, but I'm telling you, it is a blessing when you've got that backup of passion and enthusiasm in you, that hope. It's more than feelings. And I've got that, and I've got that for you, for all of you. I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 30, 40, 15. I think there's more actually on this call that don't have their cameras on. Yeah, 21 people. The people I see right now, I know that if you wanted to, if God willed it, if you worked hard and he blessed the work of your hands, that you could all be on the stage as emeralds or sapphires or diamonds by next convention. Borrow my belief. If you do not feel that right now, I know it. I know it. And I know how to help you guys forward. Okay, we're going to start out hearing from Christy Mastrolia, and then afterwards, I'm going to quickly share what Jean Tipst, our CEO, shared in our Diamond meeting. Obviously, I cannot share all of it. There was so much. It was a 3-hour meeting, and I was taking notes as quickly as possible. We were not allowed to record. A lot of it was actually like private information and fiscal stuff and numbers, and I was like, whoa, this is interesting. But Christy is in her car. I don't see her cup holder anymore. This is an amazing, perspective of Christy right now. She is going to share her takeaways first, so then she can like go back to driving her kids to all the things. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you. Yes, this is going to be my office today because of our schedule. So welcome. I feel like I had the whole week was phenomenal, but two things that I want to make mention of, and I want you to cling to it, is number one, allow yourself to visualize going emerald. Allow yourself to visualize, okay, if I'm in my home, if I'm in my room, at my desk, wherever, I want you to imagine how that's going to feel when you open your back office and you see 1,500 points. Because I told Bridget, that is something where when I've started to think that little blip of going emerald, I stop it because it makes me emotional. And I'm like, send it away. That is so backwards, because that is a fire. That's a passion. That is a dream of mine. And I'm shutting it down just as it's starting. And to be able to see all of those emeralds, and so many of them went emerald so quickly. And some of them had such long, extensive journeys of refinement and personal growth and overcoming mindset struggles. Like, it doesn't matter how long you have been here. I've been here 4.5 years. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to aim for emerald by next convention. And I'm going to allow myself to sit in that and celebrate it. And it feels really good. So that's number one. But number two, I feel like I walked away from there with such a crystal clear vision of our future, of where we're going, thinking of what I want to do bigger than just myself. I want to start, and the Lord gave me a dream over 10 years ago. I wasn't even prego with my first baby. He gave me a dream of starting a dance ministry because I have a passion for dance, for ballet, for ballroom. And a lot of kiddos have that dream and that passion, but they can't do it because of expenses. And I want to create a ministry where, number one, we are honoring and glorifying the Lord with our movement, with our bodies, but I need money to start that. And with Plexus, I can not only be helping people and helping these mamas and these families, but open up a doorway to share God's love and share the word in an opportunity for their daughters and their little ones to celebrate dance. And so looking forward in the vision, don't be afraid to dream. Don't be afraid to set a big goal or actually speak out like, okay, Lord, this is what I want to do. Will you please bless the work of my hands? Please help me overcome the fear of judgment, the fear of rejection, whatever your limiting belief is. Lord, will you please help me overcome that? I think I talked for a little longer, but that's the gist. And you've got a lot of posts coming at you over the next month in relation to vision. So that's what I have to share.
Thank you, Christina. That was a perfect way to start this call out with vision. When she was on the plane going home, I can't remember, it was 20 something posts she made on the business as she was on the plane going home. So somebody has already taken massive action, and I can't wait to see what happens as you shine as that emerald. And I see you as a diamond. I know your uplines do too. Michelle Cookman's like, yep, I have a diamond in Christy. So let's go. Okay, we're going to have Rachel go next. Are you ready, Rach? It was so good to meet Rachel and Nikki in person.
I'm excited. Are you sure you didn't want to go over you're good? Okay, awesome. Awesome. So I have a couple little notes that I want to share, but first of all, of course, it was my first convention ever. I don't know about everyone else on the team, but obviously I've only been with Plexus and using the products for 6 months, and God has tremendously blessed my business. Plexus isn't my only business. So for the last few months, I have, as Keith said on our call, like he probably put into words what my feelings have been for the last couple of months of frustration. And if you're a mama and a working mama and things like that, like it's so easy to hit your personal lid. It's super, super easy to do that and to reach that point and think, I just don't have time. I don't have time for this, and this. And so one of the classes that I was in, here's a couple of things that I took away from it. Embrace what you resist. I resist discipline. I didn't realize that until this past couple of weeks that, you know, I'm OCD and I like organization, but I didn't realize that I lacked discipline. And so I need to embrace that. I resist that. I tend to make me feel like I'm a failure as a mom, a wife, a businesswoman, a ministry woman. I tend to kind of set myself up for failure. And then once I fail, I just get in the same cycle over and over and over. James Lawrence was amazing. Iron Cowboy. One of my takeaways from him is every journey has humble beginnings. And I will be honest, on the first day, that Monday that we landed in Vegas, it was the High Roller event. My sister got sick and wasn't able to go with me. We both were able to go to that event. So I was by myself in a brand new city I'd never been in before. And I just quickly became overwhelmed. Like there was a little couple was not on the GG team. They were lost. I was lost. We helped each other find where we were supposed to be, but they kind of went their own way. And here was me, in my mind, this was my perspective, little old me from Virginia, who's just started her journey, who hasn't met her weight loss goals, who is struggling to fit in, to feel like I belong there. And I'm going to get emotional, but I got to the top of the steps and it was like anxiousness and all these thoughts of you don't belong here. You don't belong here. And I was tearing up, and the guy was trying to help me get out the exit, and I could not hardly make it back to the room without sobbing my face off. But you know what? I had to remember that we all start at humble beginnings. And no matter what our frame of reference is right now in this moment, that is not our future. That is not where we're going to end. And so through convention, Christy already said it, visualizing, I began to see myself as a businesswoman, a woman of God, a mother that successfully raises her children up in the Lord. I have, like I said, another business and it's been struggling. And today's staff meeting with my staff was completely different. I see myself as a different mom, a different wife, a different businesswoman, being in full-time ministry. It's just, you just have to see yourself as God sees you, and that you are not weak and you are not less than, but you can visualize. I'm like Christy, I'm going emerald, then I'm going sapphire, then I'm going diamond. And if it takes me 5 more years, so what? But I will get there. You will get there. You just have to be determined to see that vision and stick with that vision. So when the enemy comes with the negative words and the negative circumstances, turn that around and say, the Lord has promised to bless all my hand is put to. The Lord has promised that if I put him first, he will add all these things to me. And keep your focus, turn those thoughts around. And I'll stop talking now.
None of us were ready for you to stop talking. Well, that was beautiful. I'm definitely not going next into the numbers and stuff of our company on that note. See your hearts opening up and swelling for her. You guys, we have people out there that need what Rachel just found. And as she has dove into this new place in her brain and in her heart, really, I do believe that God works. I mean, especially as Christians, like he is massaging our hearts. He's the one shepherding us. He's the one strengthening us and leading us forward, right? But now that she has that, do you see what she just passed on to us? Inspiration and hope. I'm like, let's all get off and go message 1 million people. That's what we need to have ourselves so that we can go message 1 million people and let them feel that hope. Thank you, Rachel. I am so sad that I was not there to go with you to that party. We got there too late and I missed out. And I will tell you, I've been the sobbing girl in my room at convention all alone. And it is so hard. Looking back, I will tell you this, it is so humbling. So a humble journey is good. If you feel humbled, that is good. If you're feeling condemned, beat down, like I don't belong here, that is not humbling yourself under the mighty hand of God. That is the enemy. And that could be too your flesh condemning yourself, right? So knowing what the difference is between those two things is so important. This journey, what does it do to all of us? It brings all the junk up to the surface, and praise God for that, so that he can touch it, so we could face it head on, and we have one another to do it together, right? Okay, next. Christine Lowe, you ready to share?
Yes. So I took little bullet point notes because that's how I do notes. First, it was amazing to be poured into by everybody at convention, from the team to the emeralds, the diamonds, the sapphires, the speakers. Oh my gosh, this year I was praying before I went, Lord, please just open my heart and my mind and my ears to what you want me to hear. Jessica Heffley, please tell me that was right. When she spoke about she was going to give up 6 months ago, I'm like, oh, preach it, girl. Tell me what. And then I realized she's human. She started right one place by stepping forward and trying these products. That's exactly what I did. I'm like, okay, she and I are connecting. All right. It was just great to hear people be honest. But one thing was, God is in the algorithm. If he brought this business to us, which I 100% believe he did for me, I need to be a blessing to others by sharing and reaching out and forgetting about myself, meaning I need to die to myself in order to gain what the Lord wants me to do for his kingdom, which I truly believe 100% this is my mission field. And Bridget knows in 2022, I'm like, Bridget, I don't know, or 2021, Bridget, the Lord wants me to do this. And she, blessing to her, came and said, okay, let's do it. Because I went to her and I said, I want to do this. So die to myself. And somebody out there today is praying for answers for their health, for their finances. And we have an amazing company that will bless them in both of those 100%. And then, James Lawrence, I was so fired up by what he had to say. That man never gave up. He never gave up. He was literally broken, people. If you have not seen his Amazon Prime video, go watch it. The one bad word he uses is but that's not what he says, because we're like, what do you mean there's bad language? Listening to him trying to raise $1 million by riding his bicycle, doing the Ironman, swimming, running in 50 states, he raised $75,000, not the million he was looking for, but he showed people that he had a vision. He told his children, I'm going to do this, and he fulfilled it. No matter what was happening, all the obstacles, he never gave up. He pushed his body so far, and he wasn't doing it for himself. He was doing it for somebody else. So we need to die to ourselves to give life to others. So that's what I did.
Beautiful. Sacrifice. Lots of sacrifice for a greater good, for sure. Thank you, Christina. It was so good to see you and your hubby there. And I love that you wrote on that wall, that goal wall that I totally missed at convention, where you write where you're going to be the next. I know, Rachel, we're like, where's the goal wall for me when I needed it? Christine wrote that she was going to be Emerald by next convention. And I believe that 100%. I see her leading her girls and the way she shows up for her customers. And I think she's ready to go. So we have, I'm trying to like choose the mamas with little ones next. I'm like, Janessa, was that your little sign face that you need to go next? Or Lindsay? Who needs to go next? Is Lindsay here? She's being like covered by my, I don't think she's here right now. Okay, Janessa. J to the Mitch.
Hi, I'm fine if Lindsay needs to go. My kids are gonna go, like, or no, is she okay? Okay. Lots of takeaways. I don't know, this is gonna be real, you guys, as always, but I dragged my feet going to this convention. It just felt like I was been so disappointed in myself and where I'm not over so many years. I've been Senior Ruby since 2020. I think is when I went Senior Ruby. A blessing that I have never gone under that rank. And that I count that, like, that is such a huge blessing to have that income, to have that wonderful team, I have a wonderful team, and just to have that stability, which is crazy that God gave me that. So it's been really hard though, because it's not where I saw myself. And I thought I would go much faster. Obviously there's lots that I need to learn. So I dragged my feet to this convention because it's the second time we've been to Vegas. I'm not a huge fan anymore. It was just like, okay, I'm going to just be thankful that it's in the Pacific time zone, because these last few events have kind of wrecked my body clock. So that's where I was just so stoked that it was like, okay, my time zone, I can bring a bunch of girls with me. I can have my team. And I got there. I think a nice talk with Bridget made me realize that I need to do that. I missed my son's 8th birthday for it. I miss his birthday every year, but it's usually over convention. And we've talked about the importance of this business to our family and why we need to go to convention. Thank you, Bridget, for that talk. And my son understands, and we do big things. Anyway, this year, there was a lot of really, I think discipline is one of them. I think that was a big one that I took away from it too, it was discipline that I needed to do. I took a lot of that discipline from your teaching, Bridget, that I wasn't going to go to. And then I went, and I'm so glad that I did in the motherhood training, because that really was a big eye opener for me on what the things I needed to do and how to organize my life and needed to take control of it. I'm going to talk with Liz about that too, like of just taking control of your life and being the manager of your time and not letting it manage you. So that was really big for me. The other one that I really took away was, you guys, get on the phone. Get on the phone. I heard it time and time and time again, and it sounds like such a small thing, but get on the phone. I think I heard it throughout convention. And then if you were in the chat at all, but like I got to sit next to Kristen, formerly ABART, Kristen Love, who is Brenda's upline. And I don't even know how like it all happened, but ended up on her Uber and we chatted the whole way. And then she saved me a spot on the plane and we sat together for the whole plane ride to Sacramento. And she went from start to finish in 18 or start to die in 18 months. And she did it by getting on the phone. And she did it by speaking truth over these people in her life that she saw these qualities in. And that was another one, pick out your qualities that you want and the people you want to work with. But she got on the phone with them over and over again, and she gathered them all at the same time and flew to Diamond in 18 months, which is just wild to me. And it was also nice to hear her say too, she's like, you've been Senior Ruby. Like she goes, I would have stayed. I would have not quit at Senior. I would have been happy at Senior Ruby at the time in my life when I needed that, which just goes to show like people don't know what's possible, but also a couple $1,000 a month is such a blessing, and it's worth telling people about. It is worth sharing that with people. And just as much as you share the health products with people, it's just sharing the business too in the same way. Like, I don't know why, like, you can't just like the way you shape, right, I'm going to health products. So now I'm going to share this business opportunity because people need money. People love money. I think I was talking with Nikayla in the room. She goes, I don't know why people don't like money. Like, and I go, I don't think that they don't not like money, but they do like money. And we need to talk about that more. Like, hey, do you want some money? Here you go. Here's this gift of this opportunity. Like, we can help you do that. Especially now when you're going to the grocery store and you buy 4 items, $80 or whatever it is, just insanity. Like, and gas prices, people need the extra money. People want the extra money. They want a way to get out of their whole hum daily life and see a bigger future. And sometimes, as we've all learned, you kind of forget that you forget to dream in our adult life. And so reminding them what it's like. And that was James too. He said that people forget to dream. And that's why kids are so much happier than adults. So remind people what it's like to dream, remind them what it was that they wanted to do when they were little. And are they doing it? Are they fulfilling those dreams that they even wanted? And is there a way that you can assist them on their way to that? So there was lots of good takeaways. I'm so glad that I went, you guys. And I'm so glad that I got to see so many of these little faces here, because it is just the best part. And it's nice to meet so many of you in person. And I get to convention, you guys. Get to convention.
Beautiful. Yeah, Janessa is one of those natural leaders. She already has like natural leadership skills that I don't know if I'll ever have. Truly. I'm not putting myself down in that. I'm just saying we're all so different. Literally, when I like need like a group to get together, I'm like, Janessa, can you just tell everybody to please? And she's like, boom, done. And they listen. I'm like, and then I'm off somewhere else. Like, I got to be kept in line by J Mitch. So like, you got to go Diamond. Let's do this together. She looked over me at the Star Diamond tables in the front and was like, I can go Emerald. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go Emerald and bring my team. Like, just, I was like, who even is this right now? It was just so clear and like, oh, let's go. It's time. True belief. Let's go. It was so strengthening. Thank you, friend. Lindsay, are you ready to go?
I figured this out. Yeah. I think for me, I mean, it was a whirlwind getting there, even on delayed flights. And one thing that stood out so much to me was just the community. I've been a part of direct sales before, and like, this is entirely different than any direct sales I've been a part of. I mean, even in terms of like sending a message to the convention group of like, is anyone coming in remotely close to me? And these women who are like not even on like our leg are like, yep, I am. We'll wait for you. I had like people on the front end and back end just like willing to wait or like ride with me and just like instantly make friends. So that's something to me was like, oh my goodness, like people are just, community is something so important to me, period. And then to be in this community with these other women and so many of them believers was just so uplifting and something that was really meaningful. Takeaways for sure would be like we talked, Liz and Margaret and I talked for a little while, and we were talking about how time can be such a like barrier for us, even in our everyday lives, where I'm like, oh, I know that I need to clean my kitchen when the kids are in bed, but I'm tired, so I'm going to put it off until the morning. And then when I do it in the morning, then I'm taking away that time from my kids instead of like just do the thing. And my brother-in-law, who is a very successful businessman, has said, and this is just kind of like stuck in my mind since he said this, is time kills deals. And so it's like if you are sitting there and someone's messaging you, or like you're in between and, you know, having the conversation and you're putting off getting back to them, or you're, you know, whatever it may be, time kills deals. And so it's like just bite the bullet and get it done. Close the deal. Don't drag it on. Just do it. And I think it's just so inspiring too, of like the women who got up and spoke, and some of them who had such a fast track to Emerald, Sapphire, Diamond, and others who like sat in that place for a number of years and then like got it. And I think it was encouraging on both ends of like, number one, everyone's journey is different. So don't be discouraged if you're sitting in this place for a few years. Like everyone's journey is different. And it doesn't mean that you aren't still making an impact and helping people. Like be okay with where you are. However, like have that drive for more, like have that passion for more. Like, because we are all on a different path and our timing, you know, God's timing is perfect, not ours. So just be okay with that. But then also that realization of I can do this, and I can like just the belief of I can do this and I will get there, and I'm going to trust God's timing in it. Like even coming home in the midst of moving, and I had someone message me and say, hey, I just don't have time to focus on the products right now. I'm going to cancel my subscription. And just feeling like, you know what, in the past, I would have been super discouraged by that of like, great, there goes one, here goes my dream. You know what? That's okay. This is her journey. And then I just encouraged like, hey, don't cancel your membership because you've got that for a whole year. Just pause your subscription and then we can like come back to it. So just like learning how to reframe my mindset and like talk to others of it's okay. It's okay if that's their path, but I am still going to speak life to them and like still just encourage in a different way. And just because they're saying not right now doesn't mean not forever. They just, you know, need a little help. I think that was mostly everything.
Well, it was so good to meet you, Lindsay, in person. And let me just tell you guys, I just felt like I'd known her forever, or she'd been with us forever. It was just so easy. I really felt that way about each one of you that I had not met in person. I'm like, oh, hi, here we are all together. So easy to love. This girl already has a strong vision and passion going forward. I cannot see you stopping. That is for sure. So blessed to have you. Okay, before we move on and talk to Marlisa and I don't know, maybe Bethany, she's on this call, she has something. And last minute I reached out to Liz and I was like, can you be on the call or it's not going to be able to happen? And she said, I think I can get on. So I don't want to spend too much time in these numbers here from our CEO, but I also want you to hear some of what he shared from the stage with us. This is like 3 hours wrapped up into 2.5 minutes. So he went to 2 direct sales and network marketing award ceremonies with Alec, our president. And he was like, you know, our numbers are down this year. And all over direct sales and network marketing, everybody's hurting a little bit. He's very honest from stage. Oh my goodness. It is so refreshing. There's no baloney. You know what I mean? He said they walked into the first award ceremony. It was for direct selling and global, like network marketing, global. Okay. And they were giving out awards 1 through 100. like which company was number one versus all the way the top 100. And they were like, oh my goodness, like for a Plexus to get somewhere in the top 100. Yeah, right. Globally. Do you know? Do you know that we were number 29 globally? Number 29 globally. Shout that from the rooftops. I'm like, my knees like are shaky, quivery. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. That's sales, that's retention, that's people loving their products. So many things. That's customer service. It's our leadership, and it is how financially sound we are as a company, which I will share about that a little bit more in a second or two. The second award ceremony they went to for a whole nother party was for the top US based network marketing companies. And they're like, oh my goodness. Okay. Like it's been a rough year and we know all these amazing companies thriving and then most of them not, but there's just no way we're going to get in the top 20. Well, we were number 19. So I just thought that was so fantastic. You guys, you know, Q Sciences and Beautycounter used to be in these numbers and they are no longer. They nowhere. Q Sciences is bye-bye. Beautycounter is bye-bye overnight. And I will tell you what, when stuff like that happens in our industry, I'm like, I'm right behind all the other diamonds, but there are diamonds that get to our executives way before I do. And they are like picking up the phone and calling Alec and Terrell and like, what about Plexus? Is this what's going to happen to Plexus? How are you guys going to like really reassure us that this isn't going to happen to us? And so they were very, very clear with us from that stage and actually addressed Beautycounter, talked about it. Oh yeah, Q Sciences, boom. What I can share with you, they said, you need to trust that we are very, very fiscally responsible and that we are still like without any debt. He said, we are so financially sound, even more than ever, and that they are continually kind of talked down to by other companies who are like, you've got to just risk it and put more money here. And they're like, nope, we're not going to be rash. We're trying to be wise. This is a legacy company. We care about our ambassadors and their paychecks. You guys, they have prepped for all brand ambassadors that if something in our economy were to get a little wacko for a while, they would be able to pay us for 6 months at your rank right now. It's crazy. He said, we are financially sound. We are profitable. We are fiscally responsible. Our bank account is very healthy. What a treasure. Our pay point, if you've been wondering about that, is higher than it has been in 3 years. What happens is, holy moly, I remember the pay point being over $3 and my paycheck was a couple $1,000s more at least with that. Okay. So we are working to get to at least 3. We're at $2.86 right now in May. The way we can raise that up altogether is when we start them out with more product. If you can, that blesses the entire company. Number one, it's not all about our company and us and our paychecks. This is about our people falling in love with more products. Because how many people in your downline do not know about Active yet or about Vital Biome, and you started them out on the triplex and they're like, this is all Plexus has, right? So huge. They're working on a product that is going to be huge for this market. Just so you know, new products take about 20 to 24 months to build it out. They are working on numerous clinical studies on that. And he said, Gene Tips, our CEO, said from that platform numerous times, we have decided we do not want to ride the trend. We want to be the trend. I'm like, do it. Yes. Stay in that gut microbiome sphere. We've been begging for liver support, and look what we have in Restore. This means that all these burdened livers from years of cleaning out our gut and our guts like pushing over into the liver, long-term Plexus ambassadors over here, we're like, yeah, we need liver support. Our products are just going to work better and better and better. They are pouring millions of dollars now. They had set aside a few million, I don't understand how this works, into a new e-commerce platform. So do not be discouraged with back office stuff for you people who want reports and you're like, I'd really like to be able to see when people earn convention contests so I can congratulate them. Like I have to wait for my downline to come tell me. That's really not the best, right? I've been doing this for 8 years and I'm like, can you change that? But being able to see our downline, see who hasn't ordered last month so we can reach out to them, offer things. There's a new e-commerce launch coming here soon. I do want to share, we have a brand new chief marketing officer, Ashley Hauer, Hower. Follow her. She is a mama. She has children and she's like, our branding is getting messed up. I'm not changing the branding, but we're all over the place. We got to tighten up social media here. You notice on Instagram, it's getting better and better and better. They're working on things, okay? They're working to get us things so that we're not hiring those $10 a month VIP graphic people to create graphics, okay? They're really trying to pull it in tight. She admittedly said they've really lacked in leadership in that area over the last couple of years. So everybody's just been doing their own things and they're such a powerful team. They just need to work together. Everything rises and falls with leadership. And man, she is the woman for the job. Her history is amazing and what she wants for Plexus is huge. Okay, there's so much more to share. But I'm going to end with this because Diamond, brand new Diamond, Angie Ambrosetti, she is a personal friend of mine. I met her at a leaders retreat at a shopping spree that I was at where I was actually all alone. And I was like, oh my goodness, I wonder if I can make friends here with all these amazing diamonds. And she was an emerald and we got to know each other. And she's like, I've been stuck at emerald for 2 years. She ended up being an emerald for 4 or 5 years, but not making emerald points. So she was senior ruby, like under 1,000 points for many years. She went diamond in, I believe, April. And this is how she did it. She has a level 1 who is her daughter-in-law, who in January was at 78 points. She went to her daughter-in-law and said, I'm sick of this. Are you sick of this? Let's go. They're in the same town. She said, we are going to spend $150 a month, every month, going to a Holiday Inn, having a little room there, every Tuesday night, the first of the month, and we're inviting people. We're getting people to our little opportunity event. We're going to have a super cheap balloon arch. Like we're going to put money in for that. It's $12 every month from Amazon. We're going to bring our products. We're not going to do PowerPoint. We're going to share the opportunity. The first 2 months, they had no one come. The balloon arch and everything. They're like, it's okay. Got to invite more people. They did. They brought in business builders. They brought in so many customers, news spread. By the way, when they were doing those things, and I've talked to many of you about doing this yourselves already, and I am setting that up right now. I'm going to start in my home just because I want it like extra community. I have to start in my home. But you guys, her daughter-in-law flew to Emerald and she's on her way to Sapphire, and Ange went diamond. People are very distracted right now online and on social media. We're going to have to get face to face and we're going to have to do it scared. Like we don't even know what we're doing. Hey, I'm a diamond and I'm like, what in the world am I going to do for that presentation? Because honestly, I don't want to do a PowerPoint. I want it to be so duplicatable. They're like, oh, she just said this. Like I'm going to have an outline that I'm following that I can pass on to you guys. Right. So wanted to share that. So much with the cruise that we can earn. It starts right now. Contest starts right now because retention credits are how most people are going to earn this cruise starting now. So do not be like, oh, start in September when we're going to start working for it. Nope. Retention is going to be huge. Retention. They did a huge training on this, and I will pass this on either tomorrow night in our team call or the next week, because we have to talk about retention. I got my numbers for our team. For 4 straight years, we were at 78% retention. That is not normal. That is incredible. We went down to around 73% retention for 2 years. And now we are at 58% retention. That means About half the people that we're bringing in, we're losing right away. Okay, so we can do this thing. We got to tighten things up. You leaders need to be having regular welcome calls. I don't care if one person gets on, somebody's got to take tight reins of that. Okay, I can do it in Gigi community every single week, but are you going to bring your people to that? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe we'll get a straggler there. It's time. It's time to cast a vision for people on the products. It usually takes 57 days for a VIP to start sharing. Is that interesting? It's right around the 60-day mark. And so with our new product Restore, I personally feel for my personal business and for all of Gigi, we've got to look at starting people out on something like Slim, Active, and Restore. Morning, noon, night. They have 3 drinks to prep them for wherever we're pointing them. We need them to feel better month 1, to go into month 2, to get at least into the 60-day, 90-day zone, right? Just something with Restore. And then you need to be like, this is what we're looking towards for month 3 for you. Then we can bring in ProBio 5. And I think your body's going to be ready to slay that candida, right? So we've got to start thinking like that for our customers. It's not too late. Go to your customers. Don't do anything else on social media or on your phone or with your team until you just sit down one night and you go, I'm going to go through all my customers right now. And I'm going to make a quick video, 1 minute, about how excited I am about Restore and how this is going to change how they go forward with their products or get back on the products. Then you send that out to everybody. Get crazy about bringing people back right now with that. Okay. Okay. Marlisa, would you like to share next? So good to have Marlisa there. You guys, if you do not know Marlisa in person, you need to know her in person. She is like this. She's like my mama. That's how I feel. She is just, she's on the rock. She's so tender. She is so wise. She speaks truth into my life. From what I have personally faced in the last 2 years, Marlisa, thank you for loving me back so well as my friend. So that's all for me.
How am I supposed to talk now? Oh, thank you, Bridget. And that's what I love, first and foremost, like many of you have said, just seeing each other in person, giving hugs, hanging out with people, learning what each other's personalities are and how we roll. It's just so sweet. Nothing beats being in person. I have been wanting to get to convention for a long time, and the Lord opened the doors this time. It helps that it was only 3.5 hours away from my house, but still. Okay. I have been a little intimidated by the idea of being a leader, and having leaders on my team and not really knowing where I fit in with all of that. And one of the things that I think I came home with was a combination of training from Brittany Howard and Christina Williams about systems, and Bridget and Brenda talking about what discipline looks like in the home as moms, as women. And then, of course, I'm missing something else, but just that it just hit me as a mom, and some of you aren't moms maybe, but you're in a position in your lives where you are learning how to be a leader. And I think it just hit me. I am learning day by day how to lead leaders. And you take Plexus out of my life and I'm still doing that, And so now I have an opportunity to do that on another level. And I think as believers, the Bible says for older women to be mentors for younger women. And I think that's not even strict as far as ages or whatever. Like, we can be mentors for each other. We can be leaders of each other. And a lot of that looks like just humble serving of one another and coming alongside and just joining others in their journey. And that's what I love about what we do in Plexus is that we have to get down on the ground with our people. We're going to, I heard once, we're going to end up with people who are grouchy, cranky, irritable, rude in the very beginning because they are miserable. They're physically miserable. And so that affects their emotions, their thinking, what comes out of their mouths. But we need to be ready to be there for them and walk them through. I mean, my goodness, I have 3 teenagers, okay? You got to be there for them. You got to walk those crazy roads with them when the emotions are everywhere, and keep your cool in a way that shows them that calm is possible. I mean, none of us are perfect in that, but it is possible. So when James Lawrence gets up there and shows me what a person can do with their body, and he's not even a believer with the Holy Spirit in him, like, like it just blew my mind. And it also showed so much of how much I limit myself, how much I'm like, oh, I'm not comfortable with that. So I'm just going to stay away, stay safe, stay comfortable. We have so much potential that the Lord has designed us for, and it's not serving us or others to limit how far we think we can go. So I came home with a lot of hope and a lot of excitement, and I'm not sure if my family knows what to do about it. But that tells me I need to prove it to them. I need to prove that things are different and that things will be different. Starting with just some discipline here at home for myself, like organized time for certain things, and being fully present with my kids, and then being able to be fully present with my husband, fully present with my customers, my leaders, my people. So I think that was a lot of it. At the very end, when Jay Bear was talking about speed in responding to people, it really it hit me that, yeah, that responsiveness, that immediate, not immediate, but like that timely response to people, even if you don't have the answer for them, shows respect and shows that that person is valued. And that was just a really good reminder, because I know I feel the same way. If somebody doesn't get back to me for a long time, I feel like I've just been ghosted, Let's not be ghosters. Even if it's intimidating to get a question from somebody, let's make sure that we respond to them and say, good question, I'll get back to you on that, and follow through. Challenge yourself to follow through on that. Okay, I have a lot more, but that sums up a lot of what has happened in me since being at convention. Thank you, everybody, for just helping make it a wonderful time. And if you haven't been to convention yet, get there next year. I'm planning on it.
Beautiful. I know. Start saving your shekels. Save up those shekels to get there with us next year. Thank you. Okay, Liz, can you share? And I will say this too. Bethany, are you still here? You are here. If you want to share too after this, you can. Michelle, did you say that you wanted to share today? Did I miss you? No, you're like, nah, right now. Okay, perfect. Liz, you can go ahead if you feel like you can. Little bald baby nurser.
Okay, can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay, good. I'm piped through my car. Hopefully nobody gets exposed to anything here. Yeah, I think really just get yourself to convention for sure. But even if you weren't there and you're regretting it, just realize that there was something that happened. There was there are a lot of us who it was very different. It was a very, very different convention. And I think Brittany and Christina's info in the Go app, you need to look at it, because I was sitting there and I wasn't even supposed to be in that session. I was late. I let her sleep in, and that was just the first one. And so I ducked in, And I was like, I needed to hear this because they presented the information in such a way that I realized I've been way too emotional about my business instead of just going, oh, I just need to find where the holes are and I need to work on those. I'd never once kind of thought of that. I'm always like, I haven't talked to that person in like a year. I can't reach out to them. I'm just going to continue to be silent. And I made everything emotional. So now I'm like, oh. And then many of you know, I sat across the aisle from a Sapphire on the way back. She and her husband, she and her husband are Sapphire. And she basically coached me. And it was really interesting because I was telling her about how and I talked with Becky about this, but I realized, like, you know, there are people in my life who I've had to realize, like, they did the best with what they had available to them. And for me, it helped me to be able to kind of like forgive and move on and stuff. But I was telling this story to that Sapphire and she looked at me, she goes, Liz, I am known on my team as being very blunt leader. She's like, when you said that, it hit me so hard. That's what you're doing in your business. You're just doing the best with what you have. And I was like, oh, and she's like, don't limit God. Don't sit there and think that, well, I have 4 children and I homeschool and I'm doing the best that I can. She's like, no. And so I'm just kind of like, my head has been literally swimming with all the time zone changes and the heat and humidity here. But I'm like, what am I doing? And here's another interesting thing. On the way there, I was trying to watch some movies in between baby being awake. My phone wouldn't connect. So I was watching movie previews. And I watched the one for, I remembered it. She was an Italian nun. It was kind of like a focus. It was like a focus feature films one. Anyway, there's a scene in there where she's sitting in front of the doctor and he's like, you don't have much time left. And she says, then I better get to work. She's like, how much time do I have left to live, basically? And it was like, he was like, maybe 5 months. She's like, then I better get to work. And it made me think about the end of, Betsy ten Boom, Corey's sister. She's on her deathbed and she whispers, she mouths, she can't even audibly be heard. And she says, Corey, there's so much work to do. And I was like, we don't know the lives. And I came home and I was like, honey, because we have a counselor here and he's just had his 10th concussion and my husband loves him dearly. And he's been leading him. And I'm like, honey, if we had money, we could put him through concussion therapy, but we can't afford, he needs concussion help. We cannot afford it. But if we had the money, we could cut a check. That's what that Sapphire said to me. She goes, Liz, I just cut checks. The money flows in, it flows out, but we just cut checks. We don't even have to worry about it. She's like, I'm not like, just throwing my money away, but I can cut checks whenever anybody needs it. And I was like, okay, this is so much different than I've been thinking. It's not just, I just want to stay home with my babies. It's, what can the Lord do through us if we are willing to open our mouths? And I am just seeing things so much differently.
Yeah, sitting by Liz in the diamond, like Star Diamond area, Brenda so sweetly had us sit by her. She was like, I could go enrolled by July 31st. I don't have Wi-Fi in my cabin, but I'm sure I could find it. She was like, yeah, I could. I think it'd be worth it. I think I could. You guys, just so much clarity of where she's going. Liz, you have a beautiful team. You have been one of the most faithful leaders on Gigi since you've been here, has she not? She's always answering stuff in our chats. She's been like on nearly every team call. It's always, yes, can I help? The amount of, I don't think any of us, I really don't believe any of us would be at the ranks that we are today and the paychecks we have today if Liz Kral had not been showing up in Gigi community over the years with her expertise, with her everything. So we love you. We're so grateful to have you on this team. Go girl. Hi baby, we miss you, Rayma. Yes, we do. Okay. We have both Rachel and Bethany on here still. Rachel's coming and going, I think, though. Bethany, would you like to share? I'm putting her on the spot. She might be like, no, thank you. Bethany is Rachel Carl's twin sister. So if you're like, I'm seeing two, that's why. It was so good to meet you.
Well, I wasn't prepared to speak. I actually don't feel very good. I have a cold. So I kind of popped on here at the very end, but or at the last minute, I'm like, I'll try to get on quick. But I don't even know where to start, I guess. I can't follow all those wonderful people. I agree. Liz has always poured into us. She's awesome. Well, everybody is, I think in this group. I think I always get a lot out of, I've only gone to 2 conventions. And then the last one I went to was in Ohio. But I like this one too, because it really, I think I feel convicted a lot by things I can't do. And I feel like, or I think I can't do it because I work full time and I have a family and all of that. And so my time management's very terrible, and I'm a squirrel and I'm all over the place, and I run around my house and can't even get my laundry done or get anything else done. So I feel like I already know, I'm 47 years old. I already know my what would be the word? My weaknesses. And so I tend to probably focus on them more than I should. And I feel like I'm a dental hygienist, and so I feel really confident in that profession because I've done it for so long. And so I don't ever feel when I'm at work that I don't know something, and I'm very confident talking about my dental world. But I'm also comfortable with Plexus. But I feel like my follow through is poor. So like I talk to everybody about it. I don't have any trouble doing any of that. But I think one of the things I'm really bad at then when I do have a day off, which I liked in the one was the second class in the morning. I can't think of who it was. She talked about Fear 15. I think she called it the Fear 15, where she said, I just do something for 15 minutes that I'm afraid of. Just do it, set a timer and do it. And so I liked that because I do that a lot. I feel my time management's poor and I am intimidated by so many things. And I know the products. I don't know why I don't just believe in myself to just get it done. You know, it's not the part of not understanding the products and not knowing that. I just have trouble with my follow through of, okay, well, no, I told them all about this, and shoot, now I better follow up with that person. And then before I know it, 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by. You know, my one day off that I get is just a mess. So I think I just have to stop limiting myself and not be afraid, because I do know that I can do it. I know I can. Rachel and I are the same when it comes to how spazzy we are about talking about Plexus. Well, she's probably more so than me, but I'm not too far behind. But we have each other to support each other, which is great too. And thankfully Liz puts up with us too, because we ask a lot of questions and do a lot of things. But I do think that was a good one for me, was Fear 15, and then the discipline. Yeah, BK and Brenda, you guys, that was really good on trying to figure out how to manage my time better in my home too, because that is something I've always struggled with doing. And even when it comes to just cooking a meal ahead of time, like just basic things that I should have figured out by now. You know, I have a 15-year-old, that's my baby at home now. I still have 2 other girls, 2 18 and almost 20. But I still haven't quite figured that out. And I always blame the fact that I work and I don't have time. But I think I just have to get a hold of the things that are intimidating me and keeping my white lines. Like I never go back and do that. Rachel and I talk about it all the time. She's like, oh my gosh, Beth, we have to go through your stuff. Yep. And then another month goes by and we're like, oh, I just can't get it. So we gotta just stay organized, time management, do the Fear 15, and realize that we can do it. We can do it. Even if we don't think we can, and working and being a mama, it all keeps us all busy, and being a stay-at-home mom too, for people that do that, that's busy too. It's like I feel like I'm out of the home so much during the day that I don't have time to check my phone and do the things that I need to do. And then the evening comes and I get busy with my family. So I do have a lot of excuses, but if I just manage my time, I can do it. So I was very inspired by a lot of things. It's always really fun to go. So sorry, I'm like no makeup and can barely stand it. Not like you guys care, but thankfully.
You poor
That's
thing,
all.
gorgeous without the makeup. We don't want to hear it. So good to hear from you. I'm excited for you. Yeah, you and Rach, You guys would be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, if you guys were standing next to each other, sharing in your house about Plexus, I'd be like, they are so fun and so sweet. They would help me do this. Rachel, did you want to share? Do you have time? I know we're hitting the 1 hour mark and I'm just totally unapologetic because I think this is so wonderful and I'm recording. So if you guys need to go, I get it, but this is so solid. Is there anything on your mind to share, Rachel? Or would you rather pass this time? Yeah, you, Rachel, Carl, you. 2 Rachels, strong Rachels on our team.
Sorry, my phone died. I missed a good chunk of it and I had to wait for it to come back. I wasn't prepared to share anything, but I would say, oh, there were so many good things and everybody touched on it. And I didn't get to hear what Beth said until the very end. But again, yeah, I think the whole thing of eating the frog, you know, people say that the successful people eat the frog first, which is like, get that hard thing done. And I think that for me is really, sorry, my phone is falling. I think that is really a good one for me because, and for everybody, we all do that. Like Beth said, we're all busy. We all just think we don't have time for it, but we do. We just have to manage our time better. And what I liked, we actually talked to some people in the airport before we left. And she was a senior gold and so am I. And I said, I've been a senior gold like the whole time. I just stay there. But the good thing is I have not fallen below. So I'm happy about that. But I said, but I just haven't grown and I really do want to. I have a desire for that, but I'm fitting it into my life the way that I can right now. And she said, you know, but haven't you grown so much in this entire time of being a senior gold? Haven't you grown in your personal growth and your just with the business and everything? And I said, yes, I have. I mean, it's been incredible what I've learned and how much I've grown and changed. And she said, and maybe that's what you were meant to do. You know, maybe you weren't meant to lead a large team yet. Maybe you've had to go through all of this and then finally get to that point where you feel like you can do all of this stuff, you know? And so I really liked, sorry, we're parked. We were parked and now we left. My seatbelt's beeping. So I think that was good for me to think about, like, you know, but it's time for me to put into action what I've spent all this time learning and how much I've grown. And I do have the desire to do better and to do more. And I was also very inspired this time. I'm always inspired, but this one was different. Like everybody said, I definitely do feel like it's possible for me and I have to stop putting roadblocks in my own way.
Beautiful. Well, unless anybody else has something to say, I'm going to end with a quick story from the documentary, James Lawrence's Iron Cowboy. The guy who ran 50 Ironmans in 50 days in 50 states. That is 2.3 mile swim, 120-mile bike ride, I believe. And then you end with a marathon. That is 1 Ironman. Okay. So at 30 days, he had done 30 Ironmans. He was so broken down. Literally, his body was not recovering. Like his muscles were so broken down. His mindset was gone. He was done. And his friends came alongside of him and they were like, no, you said you were going to do this. Like, you can do this. And he ended up continuing. And along with more pain that he had at day 30, they looked at his numbers onward. The more suffering he faced in body and mind, the faster his numbers were getting. They literally were like, he is getting stronger. His heart rate was in a better place. His recovery was getting quicker. The more he embraced the suffering, literally, he didn't realize this. He couldn't see the numbers. He was getting faster. He was completing these Ironmans quicker and quicker and quicker. Is that not the same for us? Are you ready to embrace a little bit of suffering and believe that deep down you are being strengthened? What if we told ourselves that and prayed that way? Lord, thank you for strengthening me to continue persevering and suffering and growing, right? so much of this reminds me of the Christian faith. And I just think that a lot of our faith has been really watered down over the last even 100 years, where we're like, it's all joy, it's all peace and self-love as a Christian, and, you know, have those boundaries. Hey, boundaries are great. We need those healthy boundaries. Those are obvious, taking care of ourselves, making sure we can pour out to our loved ones. But you guys, let's run this race with perseverance until the end. Let's leave it all out on the field. What do you want to be known for by your husband, by your children, by your friends? I want them to be like, she left it all on the field to the very end, loving as hard as she could, right? So do not give up too soon. I love you. I can see us all transforming so much during the season. I don't think we'll ever forget this convention and some of these things that we learned. I love you forever. Let's go. Let's go. Bye. Thank you all. That was incredible. I'll get this recording up ASAP for everyone. And we miss those of you who come. Bye.